Good evening, everybody, here at ORL, the Online Racing League. We're at Australia for tonight's B-split race at the Mobius Pro League. This is incredible. I am Order Zero, or as some of you may know, Gareth Davies, and I am here to do the Split B commentary. I'm on my own this week. However, I do have someone coming in to fill the second space of the commentary box next week. I am honestly thrilled to continue supporting ORL through this, and the B split side is going to be an interesting one. I don't know many of the names on here, so in the deep end. However, it's going to be a cracking race. Australia always seeming to throw something up. However, looking at the an incredible thumbnail created for us, it is an absolutely incredible race. I do really like Australia. It is 14 corners with the adjustments through turn 8 and 9 definitely on. And it is a 5.3 kilometre circuit. The first time Australia, or Melbourne, had a race on the calendar was back in 1996. My favourite F1 calendar year, for those of you who don't know. Anyway, it is an incredible track nonetheless. And great overtaking opportunities for some of the guys out there tonight. And they are on track now. So why don't we head over and have a look and see the action as it happens. On first, I think it is Varga who looks like he's going to set a lap time first. So let's see what he can do. It is an interesting set through here. So let us continue to watch for the time being as we wait for Varga to continue his lap. I think he's actually on an out lap, sorry. So he might be a little bit further off the pace as looking at it through now. He is going through that much changed sector, end of sector 2, which is, well, what used to be, I think, 8, 9, 10 and 11 is now just 8 to 9. And he will be warming those tyres up as best as possible, but not too much. He doesn't want to overcook those tyres to set a lap time in, though, because that might cause problems for him, as I've just clicked the wrong button on the screen. And let's see, then through into the final corner now. It is going to be full metal for this lap for Varga, the ET8 driver, as he comes down into turn 1. He's going to want to be able to, take each curb as nice as possible, and he goes a little bit wide out of turn into the entry of turn 2. So that could cause him a little bit of problems in the race with penalties, but it looks nice and tidy at the moment as he heads through turns 3. Into turn 4, the Williams driver goes. Got a few cars, we've got nearly everyone out on track. I think that's only 4 drivers yet to go out on track, so the track is very busy at the moment. Through into turn number 6, into 7. It's nice and tidy, and this is full throttle now, all the way through this little sweepy section, all the way into turn 9. It could be a very good overtaking opportunity. Is quite reminiscent of the Russian back straight, if you remember that one. Nearly clips the wall on the entry of turn 9, hops the curb of turn 10 and uses all the track as possible down the back the second back straight, I suppose you could say. DRS is available for him. He opens it up and, well, it closes automatically into 11, now into 12. And this corner can cause a few people problems because some people do have to lift through there, and that is very dangerous for the timing screen. Through into the last corner and down the start-finish straight for the first time on a timed lap. And across the line, it is a 16.9 for Varga. Relatively strong lap time for the Williams driver, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can continue through that. And let's go on board with Carey G as the Aston Martin driver comes through into turn number 11 there, but makes a massive mistake there, and he lets his teammate through, so he won't be going on any further. Let's go on board with his teammate as he comes through. Christian Sedel then sets the fastest lap for the time being, which is a 16.8. Tamas managed a 17.5, but here comes Necruz, the Scottish driver, I believe, as he crosses the line, and it's going to be a 17.7, so the slowest driver of all at the moment, but I'm sure there's plenty of times to find for him, as his teammate with that mistake is now the slowest driver. Here comes Raxo then, as I think we've had a change. Is that Zelitskiewicz in P2 now, and maybe Lewis Piper in P5 as well. The McLaren behind, I think that's... Is that Tamas? That could be behind. He's all over the road, nearly making a mistake, as the Williams driver of Raxo just doesn't have the same straight line speed. Let's see if it was... no, it's Dovzan who struggling through there with the driver ahead of him. 16 is Eduardo. Let's see what Eduardo can do. In 16th place, look, not yet to set a lap time, so this is going to be an interesting one. Into the pits, he's not going to do anything on this time. His teammate, though, is pushing an Alpine around who's going into the pits. Everyone seems to be struggling with so many drivers caught out with traffic. It's an interesting one, and unfortunate for some of those guys who were caught in the traffic. So, look at this. It's a complete traffic jam in the Red Bull and Ferrari pit box there. I wonder if Robbie Van, will set a lap time through turn 12. He has set one already, so I'm not sure if he'll push another lap on this. It does look like he's harvesting, so it could be very well into the pit lane for the Haas driver, and that it is. The ET8 driver of Lethal Sniper. The Lethal Sniper. I think that's meant to be lethal, but I've forgotten the H through that. But anyway, Lethal Sniper then through down into that second straight from turn 2 to turn 3. Looks relatively solid at the moment for the Alfa Romeo driver. Through turn 4 he goes. Into turn 5. It's relatively strong for him at the moment. We will continue to watch as he will go through. But let's go on board with him. And he's riding the curves hard through turn 7. The exit turn 7 there. And into turn 8. He goes through this sweepy section again, as he comes down through to turn 9. I think this is going to be an overtaking opportunity through these corners, as I think he's taken a little bit too much curb through 9 and 10. Let's see if he continues the lap. It looks like he's continuing on, so maybe he just caught enough of it not to get an invalidation there. Down into 11 and now into 12. Can he go through full throttle? Continuing strong is the Alfa Romeo driver through into 13. It's nice on the apex, not as much, but that does probably mean he is going into the pit lane, as he was possibly a bit too overzealous in his attack on some of the corners. Let's go on board with Emilio then. Currently P12, the Red Bull driver, yet to set a lap time. His teammate is currently on the top of the leaderboards with a 16.8. 11 drivers have set a lap time so far. Raxo wasn't able to set a lap time in the end. It's 19.9 for him, and a few others going through. Necros is yet to come back out on the pits, but he is P6 as things stand. While actually, I'll wait for Emilio to set his lap time, and then maybe we should go and speak about the standings here in ROL, or might do that after qualifying has done this B-split league here. But Emilio through into 11. It looks nice and tidy from him at the moment. If he hasn't invalidated, the curbs as much as possible through 12 into 13, just snipping it. This nice little lap time here for the Red Bull driver if he can continue, but there is a Mercedes right on the way, and I don't think that's helped his lap time at all. Across the line, it's only P11 for him for the time being, and I think let's go on board with Andreas Loff as they come through turn number 11 down into 12. Emilio will not be best pleased. I think that might have been Alberto Barros that was in the way, the QRT driver there, but here is Andreas as they're coming through the final corner down the start-finish straight. What can Andreas, the Mercedes driver, do? Into P4 he goes, a nice solid lap time, but it's Christian's time that looks a little bit more difficult to beat. Let's go on board with Dovzan then in 19th place. Struggled a little bit, but I think he's just setting himself up for a lap time, so if I can do anything about it, his teammate, he's just about to set a lap time, so Eduardo. It's Eduardo on a lap time. Let's see where he is. I think he's just about to start one. Alberto Barros was in an issue earlier on, but let's stay on board with the Ferrari driver for the moment. It's P12 for him. His teammate then, Augustin, in 18th place. He's just about to set himself up for a lap time. I wonder if is it Fedot that may have set a lap time through all that. He is going very wide through there. Andreas Loff managed P4 in the end. Tamas then has... Oh, Christian Seidel is out of this Grand Prix with Alberto Barros collision and a 5-place grid penalty. It is very, very interesting. I wonder what's happened there. But Christian Seidel is out of this qualifying session with 8 minutes left. He's currently provisional pole, but there's an awful lot of this session remaining. Zelenkovic there in P2, just outside. Varaga in P3 as well, both on outlaps who could take that pole position away from him. But I will stay on Kareji here as they come down. They are there, so let's go. He's just starting a lap time. He's made a mistake through there somewhere. Sniper then, P17, yet to set a lap time. He popped into the pits when I was viewing him a time before. 7.5 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. Through turn number 10 he goes, but I think he's taken a few too much curb there, so it could be costly, but we'll see. Down into turn 11. I wonder if he's done a little bit too much like he did when we were viewing him early on in qualifying, and through the final few corners he goes into the pits. Nope, he is setting a lap time. There he goes. That is a very, very weird looking wheel on the back corner there. And I think Christian is going to be frustrated with that, but Sniper in P2. That's a solid lap time for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see who else is on a lap time. Is Raksu's just about to start one, I believe. So let's see what Gabox can do. Chai Gabox, as he's, I think, caught in a bit of traffic with a few drivers there. So I think he might be a bit frustrated with that one. So I will just move out of the way and see if Netcruise can do anything as he comes around the final corner. Going to start a lap time is the Scotsman down the start finish straight. And we will wait to see what the the Aston Martin driver can do. It's nice and cosy over the curves at the moment. Down this second straight into turn 3. Let's see how late he decides to brake, because it is a very late braking corner, but it's almost perfect for Netcruise there. Could have gone a little bit more aggressive on the exit, but it's all nice and tidy. Apart from there, a little bit of a back end slip, and I don't think it's cost him too much time, but there is a McLaren in the way, and I wonder if that's going to cost him. He has decided to back out of his lap time as the Scotsman, so let's go on board with someone who could be on a lap time. Who is this? Augustin then. Can he do anything this time around? This time of asking the Ferrari driver as he heads down through into turn 3 and into 4. It's looking solid for the Ferrari driver. AVT and AVT. A nice amount of exit speed there into turn 6 and 7. This is looking very solid for Augustin. Has he got the time? Has he got the pace for it as well? Is there going to be drivers that's going to cost him a bit of lap time as well? Plenty of yellow flags around, and I wonder what, if anyone, can beat Christian through this. Not as much curb as he probably would have liked to have taken through turn 9. Through 10 is perfect. Through this little kink of a right-hander, which isn't a right-hander, before turn 11. It's all nice and tidy for the Ferrari driver. This could be a very respectable lap time for Augustin as he heads through turn 12 into 13 now. Not as much as a curb again, but he's setting himself nicely through these last few corners down the start finish straight for his time lap with 4 minutes 30 remaining. This could be one of his last possible times. It's P7. It's a very respectable time for the Ferrari driver. Have we got anyone else on a lap time? Alberto Barros is with that 5-place grid penalty as well, which could cost him big time, but I think he's just about to start a lap. He's taken a few extra corners, or not corners as they might be. I think Emilio then is going to be setting a lap time. The Red Bull driver currently on a 1:19.3. It's I think about 2.5 seconds slower than his teammate, who is provisional pole at the moment, but we will continue continue to watch what Emilio can do and see if he's able to do anything about his current lap time. He needs about 0.4 of a second to get himself up a little bit higher. So, and he will want to do that. He doesn't want to be starting at the back of the grid, but I'm sure he's going to push all he can. He's got no ERS usage to his name, so he could very well have just set a lap time. So we will wait and see for what has happened. Yeah, he is very much slower. So that ERS usage has been well and truly done there. So let's go on board with Fedot then, who's currently P11. By Mark has said in the chat that it could be a 16-7 for pole now that Christian Sendel is not in the session after that crash as a pole time. So let's see if anyone can actually perform to his liking there, but we will go on board with Tamas, who's currently P5. Very solid through this. Let's continue to see how the pace handles for the McLaren driver. He's just about to set what will be his last flying lap. Amalio did go into the pits on that session. We will stay on board with Tamas as he comes through sector 1. It's a nice little solid lap time for the McLaren driver at this present moment in time, but I know he will want to be higher than P5. Everyone wants to be as high as they can, but it's not always possible. But it's a very, very nicely spread out grid for teams at the moment, especially with Andreas Loff in P6 and his Alberto Barros' teammate in 19th, yet to be able to set a lap time. Dovzan in 20th and Tamas in 5th. So it's nicely spread out with the drivers at this present moment in time. But we will continue to watch as Tamas through into turn 9, into turn 10. As he got the straight line speed, he pulls out of his lap time, so he's going to go again. He's not that much quicker. He's let someone through. I wonder if that is... I don't know who that was, but Zelenkachev. I'm going to be murdering some of these names, so I do apologise. With 1 minute 10 seconds, Fedot has retired. I wonder if that is an incident or out of this Grand Prix. We will wait, or out of this qualifying session. We will wait and see. Karma in P13 on a lap, but we've got everyone now other than Fedot and Christian Sendel who are out of this Grand Prix. As Zelenchev then will not be able to go any faster. Lethal Sniper then is pole position with a 16.6, beating by Mark's time recommendation there. Let's see what Raxo can do. I think he's just about to finish a lap time. Qualifying is nearly done and dusted. Varga Botond I might go on board with very, very shortly, but here comes Raxo. Is he going to finish a lap time? I don't think it's quicker, but Varga Botan then. Let's see what he can do. Through into turn 10. Down this second back straight, I suppose you can call it, the DRS straight, into turn 11. What can the Williams driver do? Holding it nice and tight. He's currently P3. He's got a bit of time to find to get anywhere near pole from Lethal Sniper. And can he do that? He's a bit far away from the apex of turn 13, and that could cost him big time, catching as much of the apex through 14. But I think it's a bit too much, and he's spun around, and qualifying is done and dusted for Varga Botond there. And the ET8 driver is going to be so frustrated with pushing a little bit too hard. Here comes Andreas Loff as he's going into the pits. He's Net Cruz then on a lap time. Let's see how he can handle it as he comes down this last DRS straight into turn 11, nice and tight. Alberto Barros is retired from the session. He will be starting last of this, and that is not exactly what he would have wanted at all. Into 13 though is Net Cruz. What can he do through that? Karma has retired. Net Cruz has retired. There's a fair few retirees coming on at the moment. I think that is qualifying over and done with, because as Goji pops into 13 for the time being. That is your qualifying order then. We have a little bits of bits to wrap back up, but Netcruise couldn't go any faster. Alberto Barros just couldn't get a lap together, and that's problematic for him as we wait for the game to decide that enough is enough and we could get to the qualifying positionals for us to see. Anyway, Goji then 13th place, and we will continue to see what else is going on. But on pole, it's Sniper for the time being, with Christian Sendel alongside him. In third place, we see Varga Botand with Zelenkievich in 4th. 5th is Dozan. Andreas Loff in 6th. 7th is Augustin Tamas in 8th. 9th is Lewis Piper, and 10th is Netcruise, and that is the rest of your order as well. No time for Alberto Barros, who has a penalty to his name as well, so he won't be going any further back than that. But that is qualifying for the time being. Ooh. Apologies, I hit the wrong button there. That is qualifying for the time being, but let's have a look at the standings. Tamas is leading the way currently for marks, and that is a 15-point gap difference between the two of them. Karma in 4th place with Netcruise in 5th. Netcruise not having the best of qualifying there as well, so he probably will want to be a bit better in the race pace, and I'm sure he's going to be able to push a little bit harder than he was before. In Grillo then, in the Alfa Romeo driver there, that's not a bad little time for him. Point score, as we just wait for everything to happen, as it is going to happen very, very shortly. So over to the race screen once again to see how this pans out. We wait for the lights. It is straight into it here at ORL. We've won 5 lights, and the race is underway. It looks like a pretty good start in the foreground there for the Lethal Snipes. In 2nd place though, Christian Sendel trying his best, but he's lost the position surely. Oh, he's managed to hold on from Varga, and Varga's been pushed a little bit further back, and that's not what he would have wanted. He is under supreme pressure, though, from Dozovan this time. And in the background, look at that. It's like nearly 4 wide through turn 1. There's contact with a lot of people, and that is unfortunate there. But I will just quickly do a positional change. Look at Lewis Piper, down 10 places. Not ideal for him. Christian Sendel holding back for the time being from Dozlan, and it looks a little bit awkward for some of these. K-Ray up a few places, but Tamas, the championship leader, down into 13th place. Alberto Barros has had a good start, up 5 places as well, but Lewis Piper, Karma, all having poor starts to this race here, and we will go on board quickly with Augustin, who's kept one of only 3 drivers who kept the position. But Netcruise has dropped down. What's happened to the Scotsman? He's lost a fair few positions there. Maybe a back end slip, I'm not sure. But his teammate now above him, just behind him as well. Alberto Barros getting through, and into the pits is 2 drivers there. Tamas one of them, Netcruise the other. 2 of the drivers towards the top of this championship. Let's go on board a little bit further on as we see a fair few drivings happening and swapping around. But let's have a look at the tyres. This is where things really start to heat up, and Robbie Van and are on medium. So, I mean, it's looking very, very dark here in Melbourne, so maybe rain is going to be hitting the race a little bit later on. Definitely something to keep an eye out through this as we stay on board with the McLaren drivers. These 3 starting to try pull away a little bit. Varga Botond is under pressure behind as well. So maybe pop on board with him. And Karma has left the session. He's not had the best of races, unfortunately. Amalio is picking up a 3-second time penalty. Netcruise putting on a set of hards, down in 15th place. And it's not that good at all. And there's someone in the wall. I think that could have been Karma, unfortunately. As Amalio is struggling. Fastest man on the track then is Sniper, as he continues to lead this Grand Prix. DRS has been enabled of this lap, so let's go on board and see if Varga can catch a little bit ahead. At the moment it's looking like he's struggling, so you know what, I'm going to look on board with Fedot, who looks all over the bat of not only K-Ray but his teammate. These drivers looking very solid. Aston Martin nearly collecting the back of the lead. Alpha Tauri there, that's not what would have happened. Alberto Barros, and there's an incident. Alberto Barros has... What has happened here? Because Lewis Piper's out of this Grand Prix. So is Alberto Barros. I think this could very well be a safety car for happening. There is a car in the wall there. I think Alberto Barros and Lewis Piper both have had a major mistake there. As we go a little bit further on, look at this battle for the final point scoring position. Is all over the place at the moment. Can Fedot get through, or is it going to be the other way round? It is the other way round. K-Ray has got through Goji, and that's put Fedot in a little bit of a dangerous position because he tried to make the overtake on his teammate as well, but it just wasn't happening. K-Ray then in as K-Ray's made a massive mistake. What's happened to K-Ray? K-Ray's off the track. It is all happening here. I'm going to go back up to the leaders because those guys deserve a little bit of time. They are breaking away from the rest of the grid at the moment. And Christian Sendel has not been able to make any lead roads into Sniper as things stand. I believe Karma has picked up rear wing damage and he cannot continue this race. That is gutting for him. Augustin dropping behind the Alfa Romeo of Garbar as K-Ray trying to get through as well, but we will just quickly confirm that actually there's positional changes happening all over as the Williams and the Alpine of Varga and Zelenkiewicz battling away. Another yellow flag, people struggling away. We have lost 3 drivers, Karma, Lewis Piper and Alberto Barros. And I believe Alberto Barros lost it at turn 1. But here they come through into the final corner for the 5th time as they head down the start-finish straight. Can Varga hold on as you look up the road a little bit? The leader's pulling ever so more, a little bit further and further away. But we've got a few little pockets of battles going on. And at the moment, Varga's holding station for this one. And we will go on board quickly with Sharbox as he heads down that second straight. Can either of these two do anything? Fedot is pulling a little bit further away and helping his team, I think, just defend from the Alfa Romeo as the 2 Alpha Tauris keep on battling away. Andreas Loff is in a bit of no man's land in P7. No one really around him anywhere. But let's go aboard with this battle for P4. These are the drivers that really look like they're going to make some moves, headways. But I'm saying that, all of a sudden, Zelenkiewicz is really struggling for grit, pace, anything. Coming out of that corner, he massively overstepped out of turn 10. And it cost him some time. And I think he's outside of the DRS all of a sudden to Varga Botand. And all of a sudden, it could be Varga getting himself back into the battle for the lead, because he's agonisingly close to doing it. But there's a Red Bull there that I think could be Amalio just letting people through. Varga then on board with him as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is not what you want to see at all. A little bit further up though, let's see what Christian Sendel can do. He is struggling to keep pace at the moment with Lethal Sniper. But it is a shame to see 3 drivers out of this race at the moment. We are on lap 6 of 29, and all of a sudden Varga has brought himself back into this battle, but he has and look, all of a sudden there is problems, I think, for Chai Garbox. Sorry, Chai has struggled massively. That is not Chai, so I'm not sure. Let's go on board of the Alfa Romeo. Is there damage to that car? It doesn't look like there's damage, so that's good for him. It's the leaders then all breaking away a little bit. Robbie Van trying to get back at the Alpine ahead of him, but he is on those softer compound tyres, and those tyres are going to run off soon, and that is not what he would want to be hearing. He would probably want to be a little bit higher up, but he's still battling away for the time being as they head down this start-finish straight. The battle for P2 is hotting up though, as Christian Sendel has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and all of a sudden these penalties are going to start really costing some of these drivers big time. Fedot is pulling away from his teammate, with Augustin dropping away as well. I'm just trying to think if anyone can do anything special through all this. Nick Cruz had to pit again, I think, with the penalty, with the tyre solution that he's got. But the battle for the lead is between these 4 drivers: Sniper, Christian Sendel, Dovsan and Varga Botond. Just outside of that is the Alpine driver of Zienkiewicz as well, but Robbie Van is there just trying to put some questions through that, as yellow flags again being waved here in Australia, and I think is it a safety car this time around, as everyone seems to be slowed? It could be a VSC, I suppose, as we wait and see. Anyone popping into the pits on this time? Into the pits, is Sniper going into the pit? No, he thought better of it. Doslan though does go into the pits, as there is no safety car in the pit lane, so a retirement for someone as well. Where's that happened? Is that in the pits? Jankovic has left the game. This is interesting. This is very, very odd, as all of a sudden, behind the safety car, Sniper is there, and the race has been nullified. Christian Sendel there as well. A lot of GP drivers will pit. A lot of them will go back onto a set of hards to try and finish this race. And I'm just looking at it from a point of view where Raxo and Karaji, can do anything with this, and I'm not sure if going on to a set of hards now will take to the end of the Grand Prix and you be competitive towards the end of the Grand Prix. That's the problem they're going to face. But frustration for a few drivers into the pits. Net Cruz has gone. 1 lap old hards he has, so he will be trying to get to the end of the Grand Prix, as I will try and find out what has happened to these guys, because this is not ideal for them, the ones that have left, or what. But I will just see if there is anything in the chat. There doesn't seem to be anything in the chat, so I feel for Zienkiewicz, as he is out of this Grand Prix. It looked like it was in the pit lane that he retired, so I'm not sure what has happened at all, but that is gutting for him. The Alpine driver now out of this Grand Prix. I think both Alpine drivers are out of this Grand Prix. So Alberto Barros and Lewis Piper are the other two as well. There is a pits now for Raxo, as Christian Sandel, Varga, Fedot, Augustin and Sniper yet to pit. They know a medium won't take them to the end of the Grand Prix. They've been dealt a little bit of a bad hand here, and I'm not sure how they get out of this. It is anyone's game. Tamas has got a real opportunity to get some points, the ET8 driver, but his teammate in P6 on those mediums, trying something a little bit different. He could be one to watch if he can get himself through the traffic and through the issues ahead of him. There's 5 drivers there that if he can get through, and Robbie Van doesn't, then he might be able to just pull away a little bit, have a little bit extra pace, come back, go on to another set of mediums and come back through the field. Time will tell. But Robbie Van, on those hards, has a real opportunity to spice this grid up a little bit, as he should be leading the race once everyone has had their other pit stop happen. But time will tell. Currently on lap 9 of 29 here on Australia, and plenty of action has happened so far as well. Emilio Sachs is currently, I think, lapped, unfortunately, and that is why he's, I think, just in between the Williams of Varga and the Alfa Tauri of Fedot. Goji then in P8, his teammate. So they're all trying something different. I think we'll be back racing underway on lap 10. So the safety car yet to come in. We are just starting lap 10, so 20 laps remaining here in the Mobius Pro League. Round 9 here as well. It's the Australian Grand Prix around Melbourne's Albert Park. But Christian Sendel, who looked solid in the early parts of qualifying before an unfortunate incident in the pit lane with, or just outside the pit lane, I should say, with Alberto Barros, has now yet to find a way around the Alfa Romeo driver, who is doing an incredible job at this present moment in time. The performance stats of the tyres there is quite interesting, actually, considering Christian Sendel and Varga are both on the hard compound tyres and both done the same amount of laps. So very, very interesting stat to see come on the screen there. We will be hopefully getting underway very, very shortly. We're just going to wait for the safety car notice to say that they are in this lap, which it has. Penalties still going to play some parts, but when does Sniper go? He's got a little bit of a dilemma. If he goes early, it might not cause Sendel out, or it gives Sendel a bit of time to get himself back into this. Or if he goes late, it might not put off or catch Christian Sendel out. So he's got to do it at the right time, and right time for him. And the Alfa Romeo driver has a bit of pressure on. When does he decide to put the full force down on the accelerator? It is not yet. So we will continue to wait to see what the Alfa Romeo driver is capable of doing as he heads through these corners now. It is going to be back underway racing very, very shortly. Through turn 13, the Alfa Romeo is. When does he decide to go? He's just playing a little bit of mind games with the rest of the grid. When does he decide to go? Everyone else, surely not. He's decided to go there, but look at the background there. Everyone is all over each other. In the further back, I think there's a McLaren there, taking up the inside of the Ferrari, and he's managed to make the move stick, has Dovzan, and this is exactly what he needs to do. Is he going to make a move of Fedot as well? He thinks better of it. In the background, I think that was Goji trying to get through as well. There is a fair few cars all going very, very attacking. Let's go on board with Dovzan as they come through this corner now, and I think Dovzan is in a really good position. I think he can do something a bit special as they head through this. He's going to get fed up quite easily through this sweepy circuit and into, I say that pretty easy. Fedot is holding station quite nicely, but has to concede. But now Dovzan has 1.4 seconds to catch the Varga just ahead of him, and Varga, Sendel and Lethal Sniper are trying to pull away a little bit more. But I don't think it's going to work. It's definitely going to be another pit stop for Dovzan, and that's what he's put here. He has to, with those medium compound tyres, because those mediums are never going to make it to the end of the Grand Prix, but he could be a little bit further up than these guys. Fedot and Augustin really struggling as well. Robbie Van is in a great position, being hounded a little bit by Goji behind, but Goji's unable to make a move on the Haas car ahead, and Andreas Loff is trying to get through as well. Both these, well, these three cars in 8th, 9th and 10th respectively. In comes Andreas Loff up the inside, and there's contact with the Alpha Tauri, and there could be a steward's inquiry after that, because K-Ray G as well nearly getting through there as well, but Goji lost a fair whack of momentum coming through that corner, and that is a big moment in this race. Let's go back up to the position for Dovzan at the moment, and this could very well be him getting himself well back into this, especially with DRS surely opening next lap, and that could be ideal for him. It will only be just before turn 9, the DRS detection zone for the DRS, do not forget that. But Dovzan really pushing himself through. K-Ray G then getting back at Goji and making the move, stick on him. In the background, Chai as well battling through this, but we are going to stay on board with this man at the moment as he looks down the start-finish straight for the 12th time, or into the 13th time I should say. DRS has enabled this lap as they go down into turn 1. The leaders then all have to pit, the top 6 all have to pit again, unless, I'm saying that, but unless Dovzan does something incredible on those medium compound tyres. But through turn 1 and 2, he has already gone into 3 and 4 as he gets close to the back end of the Williams of Varga ahead, but it's not happening on this occasion. He's probably going to need the DRS assistance, but Varga is going to have the DRS assistance of Christian just ahead of him. So these top 3, but just shows how quick Dovzan is going actually on those fresher compounded tyres. He's now 2.4 seconds ahead of Fedot. So that is definitely something to keep an eye out. These top 4, though, looking very, very solid. We will continue with this battle. Will Dovzan actually be able to do anything into turn 11? He thinks about it and gets very close to the back end of the Williams, but there is no move just yet. And he's going to be hounding the back end of that Williams for a little bit more time to come. Into turn 13 they go. He's got a little bit more grip than the hard compound tyres of Varga ahead. Not full throttle through turn 14. That's probably for the best as they head down the start-finish time for, well, onto lap 14. Here comes Dovzan again. I don't think he's hopping over the curbs nicely and using as much of it. And that is the confidence that he's got at the moment. He's going to look surely into turn number 3. Defensive from the Williams driver, but unable to do it. A switchback could have been on for Dovzan, but the positioning of the Williams ahead was absolutely incredible. And he's now being held up is a McLaren driver, and that's not what he needs. He needs to find a way through. Can he do it into turn 6 here? But he can't. But he's got so much more grip. Surely this time through turn 8, it's going to be a little bit more using as ERS as he heads down, and it's going to be a little bit of a swing to the left-hand side here, but I don't think there's enough road for the McLaren driver to do anything. But he's going to the outside into turn 9. He's got the position surely, and that is the McLaren of Dovzan into P3. Next up, Christian Sendel, and this is going to be an interesting race from now on. How can Dovzan continue this pace? The mediums are going to start to die off soonish. In the background, we've got positional change as well, with Andreas Loff getting past Robbie Van Robbie Van being on the harder compounded tyres. Robbie Van being hounded by K-Ray G as they try and find a way through, but I don't think it's going to happen on this occasion. But let's have a look. Can K-Ray get any positional move up into turn 1? Both have got DRS open. Robbie Van has the red light, which is meaning that the car he is harvesting. He's got no ERS to play with. Surely that could be a sign for K-Ray G to make a move into turn 3. It is. They're side by side. K-Ray G has surely got the move done. It's still side by side through to turn 4, and it's just caught a little bit too much of the curb, getting himself a penalty and unable to hold station. Into the battle for the lead again, and Dovzan then, it's not giving me a great camera angle there, But Dobzan trying to find a way past Christian Sendel. He's all over the back of the Red Bull driver at the moment, and Sendel has started to up the pace and attack Sniper as well. Look at that. That's a mistake there from Christian Sendel, and Dobzan has made it into P2. The position gained, and McLaren now, the McLaren team can now be full of optimism, because as the Dobzan continues, he should be able to push through, and there's more of a mistakes. Varga has got through the McLaren driver as well, and that could be a pivotal moment in this race, because Sniper is going to have broken the DRS. Into the pits on this occasion now is Christian Sendel. I don't think there's going to be an overtaking opportunity for Dobzan, so let's have a look from Varga's point of view. Fresh tyres, no front wing change. He's had enough of those hard compound tyres. Let's go on board with Dobzan as it comes down into turn 3. And Christian Sendel down into 13th position. K-Ray Dree picking up another 3-second time penalty. He's having a little bit of a nightmare on penalties at the moment. And let's go on board. I think Christian Sendel is massively away from that. Net Cruz then in a battle for P10. He's all over the back of Eduardo and Chai, and at the moment he just can't find a way through. I will go on board with Dobzan as that time does look like it's coming down and down and down to him and the race leader. But at this moment in time, Net Cruz can't find a way through the Ferrari of Eduardo. It's not happening on this occasion. Surely he will think about it, but he can't find a bit of track that will allow him. In the background there, you could saw Varga, who's now 1.9 seconds away from Dobzan. And surely it's only a matter of time before Dobzan gets past. Andreas Loff getting past Fedot as well into the pits. Then for Dobzan and Lethal Sniper, they are trying to cut the undercut from Christian Sendel. This has gone into a little bit of an extra gear all of a sudden. Softs for Dobzan. It's a very, very early stop for softs, but this is going to be interesting nonetheless. But let's see on board with Christian Sendel as he comes down the start-finish straight. Where is the rest of them? He tried to undercut them, but I don't think it's going to work. Looking at it from the Red Bull point of view, I think Varga's still going to be ahead of him. He's going to be having the nicer, warmer compounded tyres, and that is a very, very swish move from Christian Sendel, as he's got the move done. He's on the prime tyre, well, the prime tyre to be on, because they have had a little bit of a lap or two to warm up, and all of a sudden Dobzan then on a set of softs, which is very, very odd. With this amount of laps to go, he's thinking he can do something a little bit special here, and he's going to have to win this Grand Prix. He's all over the back of Sniper though, who has a penalty. Where can the McLaren driver go? He's surely not around the outside. I don't think he's got the right pace at the moment. Christian Sendel 1.4 seconds behind. Don't forget, Christian Sendel was in second place, hounding Sniper at the beginning parts of this race, but it's just not happening anymore. Dobzan then can't find a way through, and let us go back to the race leader. Currently is Augustin, but Andreas Loft trying to find a way past him at the moment. Andreas Loft is going a little bit further into this race to put on a set of softs. I'm sure of it, and he just can't find a way past the Ferrari driver just yet. Let's see on board. He has a penalty to his name. Robbie Van then is an interesting one as well, and I think we've just had a positional change there as well between Sniper and Dobzan. Christian Sendel picking up a 3-second time penalty. That is huge here and not ideal for him. And all of a sudden, things are starting to heat up here in OOL. There is drivers that... It could be anyone. It could be anyone that could win this Grand Prix. As Dobzan, I think, has gone on to the wrong strategy on the softs, but he could be able to work some magic here. Andreas Lofton, I don't think he's going to get anything done just ahead. As Net Cruz trying to get past Eduardo just in front of him as well. Net Cruz is not having a great race. He's it cost him early doors, and look at that. Dobzan already all over the back of him. The Ferrari driver Eduardo harvesting again, but looking at it from a point of view from Dobzan, he's all over the back, up the inside of Net Cruz, pushing the Aston Martin driver out wide a little bit on the exit of 13, costing Net Cruz some time, and also possibly Sniper some time as well. But here comes Dobzan past the Ferrari as well. The McLaren is on the hunt. Bit aggressive on his way back onto the racing line, but it's done and dusted now. Does he get a move as well on Chai, the Alfa Romeo? I think he's a bit too far back, but he's trying to make positions here as best he can. There's positional changes behind as well, but he's surely not up the inside of turn 4. And the McLaren driver with a little bit of ease there. His team, sorry, not his teammate. The Sniper's teammate is now holding up. And he's got to be able to get past quickly. I don't think his teammate has let him. I think his teammate let him pass pretty easy there, but a little bit further on. K-Ray G battling away with Robbie Van, and I don't think that's going to be too much longer before that all kicks off. And in the background, I think there is not much time between Sniper and Dovzan and Robbie Van, who is on the hard compounder tyres. Augustin, sorry, and Andreas Loff battling away as well. But here comes K-Ray G. He's all over the back of this Haas car. If he's going to make a move, he's got to be soon. Augustin's into the pits, so Andreas Loff is now leading this Grand Prix. Looking at it from K-Ray G's point of view, he's lost some ground there. In the background, I think, no way, it's Dovzan past Koji, and now another car again between Lethal Sniper and... As I think there's moves again. There's moves all over this field. Goji getting passed by Sniper. Sniper is not letting him get away at all. In the background, just a bit further on. That was Varga getting past Eduardo as well. Leader of K-Ray G and Robbie Van. Robbie Van is just got to stick to the back end of K-Ray G just to help him out a little bit. Dovzan then is 1.9 seconds behind this, but Sniper is stuck to the back end of him. This could end in tears for some of them, or be an absolute cracker for them as well. Points are the main prizes here, as penalty goes for Chai there as well. K-Ray G nearly had a Haas as a new rear wing because, well, they are just worried about, I think, the two cars that are coming up them thick and fast. That's Dovzan and Sniper. Into the pits, K-Ray G goes this time around. Let's go on board with the McLaren driver. I think he's going to have DRS on this occasion as they head down the start-finish straight into turn 1. There is no DRS, but he is still going strong. Lap 21 of 29 here at ORL, and plenty of action still happening as well. Netcruise in P10. He's got some points there, but he's got his teammate coming out of the pit lane on fresh, soft tyres. What does Andreas Loff do? Does that cause a little bit of an issue there? Goji getting passed by Sendel, but I am just staying on board with this battle for P3 because I think these softs of Dovzan is starting to struggle a little bit, and with only a few laps to go, I think he might have made a mistake with the tyre choice from the pit stop earlier on, and it's not ideal. Let's go on board looking at it from a Sniper point of view as they head through into turn 9, as Varga getting past Goji as well. He's going to be wanting new tyres, and had to let off the attack a little bit there. Sniper, you heard the revs just drop slightly, but Dovzan unable to get past Robbie's van as they go through turn 11 into 12, and there's a lot of pressure on Dovzan. All of a sudden he's trying to go around the outside, a switch back through the last corner, and a little bit of a snap of oversteer from Robbie Van, and that could have cost him big time. There goes Sniper as well. Surely Sniper's not going to try and make it through too wide into turn 1. He thinks better of it, and there we go. That is the position up and done, and that's Dovzan versus Lethal Sniper for P2 now, and Andreas Loff then battling away, trying to keep the 2.7 gap he's got at the lead of this Grand Prix, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Lethal Sniper is doing a fantastic job at the beginning, at the front of this Grand Prix, and he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders to keep up with Dovzan, who is on the softer compound of tyre, but I think he's holding the pressure well, and Dovzan all of a sudden in with a great opportunity as well. No penalties to his name, but Sniper all over the back of him into P9. There's nothing doing at the moment, and Dovzan tyres, look at that, it's 50%. He's going to have to go to pit. He's going to have to pit in a lap or two. And that is incredible to see. This Sniper not having any of it at the moment. He can't make a move. Netcruise then, I will just quickly swap over for that. He's unable to make a move. So go back to the P2 battle. And surely time is not on Dovzan's side as it's heading down the start-finish straight. This safety car coming out as well. So a second safety car of this Grand Prix. I wonder if that'll mean this surely means that there is going to be a scramble to the pits for a set of stoffs, and Andreas Loff has done a fantastic job of keeping on to the lead if that is the case. Robbie Van has left the session. That's not ideal. He's done a fantastic job tonight so far, and to lose it there is not ideal. Penalties for yellow flag ignoring. That is not ideal as they come through thick and fast. As we will just wait and see to see if anything will happen with all this. Safety car is out. These guys are going to fun round. Emilio is in the pits. Dovzan, I think, has been given a free hand here because of everything that's going on. I will just quickly have a look at the penalty situation. Look at that, Sendel and Varga with 11 seconds worth. This penalties are definitely going to be a key factor in how this race finishes. Into the pits then, everyone go, surely, and or not. Sniper has gone, hold my beer, I'm staying out. This is an interesting strategy. Robbie Van has joined. He is on a set of hard. Netcruise has decided it's the only thing really for him to do. Where is Goji? As he's coming through the final corner now. Let's have a look at it from a point of view where he's on track. Is he going to catch anyone out? Andreas Loff there. Who is he actually going to overtake? Is it going to be Chai Garbox as well? He is. And where is Christian Sendel? There's Christian Sendel. Who am I missing for all this? Sniper. Sniper is the reason why I'm a bit confused. But let's go on board with Sniper as he now leads the way through turn number 6 behind the safety car. Wow, 2 safety cars here in ORL tonight at Australia. We have lost 4 drivers. It was Lewis Piper, Alberto Barros, who's had a pretty bad race, unfortunately for him, including qualifying, and then Zelenkovic as well. It's not ideal for these guys, but at the moment, 16 drivers still racing. It is lap 24 of 29. We should probably get back underway at the end of lap 25, so 26. It should leave us maybe 4, but hopefully 5 laps of racing if we're lucky. But we will just go on board and see where Raxo is. It might be a bit far for him to get underway now, I think. So, yeah, it will probably be 4 laps worth of racing here at ORL to finish the Split B race. As I know Gaunt and Josh are doing the Split 1. They are having a cracking time there, I'm sure, just as much as it is here. But let's see how much longer the safety car will stay out for. But at the moment, it's a little bit of a strategic game. Sniper's had to do something strategic, as has Netcruise as well, who's had a pretty poor start of the race. But while we're under the safety car, let's just stick back to this quickly, and let us know in the chat if you've enjoyed this race. This has been a bit of an interesting one nonetheless, but this is the driver standings and the constructors standings as they stand. Alfa Romeo are having a great time of it, and not having a great time of it is Tamas, who's down in 14th place. Penalties might help him out, but he definitely would have been wanting to be a bit further up than he currently is, and this is not ideal for them. Safety car is still out, but we will go back to the normal race stream here in ORL. It's looking entertaining nonetheless, and yeah, they're eating their tyres up as best as possible. Sniper has another chance of doing a safety car restart here. I wonder if he'll go late or early. Well, time will tell for certain. That will be one thing, but a lot of pressure on him, because there's no safety car in this lap sign. So we're going to have, at the end of lap 26, so there's only going to be 3 laps worth of racing. No, it's a late call of the safety car being in this lap. So here comes Sniper, then holding up as much as the drivers as possible. Let's see what he can do. When will he decide that he can take a chance at going? Will it be late like it was last time? He's got Robbie Van, who's on an old set of hards. He's got Netcruiser on an old set of hards. Andreas Loff, Dovzan, Christian Sendel, all on fresh softs, as is Goji there in P7 as well. Time will tell, but when does this Alfa Romeo driver go? He went late last time. He's going to go late this time. He's bunching the grid up as best as possible. When will he go? Look at all those cars. And it's gone. It is gone this time on lap 25 into 26. Lethal Sniper then leads away. Robbie Van and Andreas Loff battling away. But Netcruiser is trying to get through as well. And this is all kicking off. There goes Andreas Loff. There goes Dozan. There goes Dozan through on... There is a contact. That is someone around with no front end plate. I think that was the Mercedes under Andreas Loff, but there goes Sendel up into P2. Tamas with a 3-second time penalty, but either of those two leaders, Dovzan and Christian Sendel, neither with them with front wing damage, but Christian Sendel has come back to life after this second safety car. Tamas down in 14th place, battling away as well, but I don't think there's anything further happening on this one. But Netcruise, he's probably ruining his chance of not going onto a set of softs. He is struggling on those hards and being passed there by Goji. Surely he's hanging it in there. And, oh, there's contact. The Ferrari of Augustin has lost the front end plate. This is huge down the second straight into turn 11. Who's going to get the best of it? Augustin is gone deep into there with no front end plate. He's trying his best to battle his way through, but there goes Varga Botans as well. Wow, what an end to this Grand Prix. Up the inside is K-Ray G of the Alpha Tauri of Chargabox. Yeah, it is. And Varga trying to get through on Netcruise as well. Lap 27 and 29. Sendel managing to find some time on Sniper, and I think it's going to be worth us going on board with that as Varga goes around the outside of Netcruise. Augustin trying to get through as well, but with damage to the car, it's going to be a struggle for him as K-Ray G battling through, but we're going to have to go on board with the battle for the lead very, very soon. Netcruise letting his teammate through as there goes Char as well. Varga picking up another penalty, and up to the leaders we will go. And Sendel, lap 26, he doesn't have much left to do. There's another yellow flag, and I think that could be the issues going on a bit further down, especially with Netcruise. Robbie Van is having a fantastic race, holding up Goji and a few of the others on the 19 lap old hards, but the battle for the lead is happening. Lethal Sniper is leading this Grand Prix on lap 27 of 29. We have lost 4 drivers. I will remind you about that a bit later on. But heading into lap 28, we've got 2 laps and a corner to go for these guys. But look at Christian Sendel all over the back. DRS is going to be enabled this lap as well to help him in his cause to overtake the car of Sniper. And he gets the fastest lap of the race as well. Dovzan then all over the back of the Red Bull. And I don't think it's going to be enough as they head down this second DRS straight into turn 3. Will there be a dart up the inside? There is. There is a dart, and there's contact between the two of them. And that, I think that was a bit of a late lunge there from Sendel. And a little bit of a desperate lunge from him. And that's cost Sniper as well as himself. But Dovzan has now got a 3-second lead in this. That is going to be costly for everyone everyone else, but Dovzan is leading this Grand Prix, and he is going to be over the moon after seeing that incident happen before his eyes. Varga getting past Goji into P4 he goes, but Goji has no penalty to his name. Christian Sendel 2.5 seconds behind Dovzan. Oh goodness me, penalties galore at the moment, but action galore as well. Robbie Van on that hard compound of tyre, 20 lap old. He's still managing to nurse behind Goji for the time being, and with no penalty to his name, he is in for a good shout of some good points, the Haas driver. Let's continue it all through as well as they head through the penultimate corner into the final lap. Who do we go on board with for this one? It is going to be an interesting one. Let's go on board. I think there's a car in the wall. Is that Raxo in the wall? I think there's contact with someone for Raxo. What has happened to him? Or maybe did he just catch too much curb? I'm not sure. It just happened. And Raxo has struggled massively. And here is Augustin. Then what can he do? Leading the way through into turn 4, the Ferrari driver. And he's struggling with that front end plate problem and managing to hold up at the moment. But let's go on board with the leader for the final sector here at Melbourne at ORL. The Morbius Pro League race has been phenomenal, this in Split 2. Into turn 11 he goes. There's only a few corners for the Red Bull driver to go. He's had to do everything. He's thrown his car in places he's had to do strategies completely different to everyone else. He's done an extra pit stop to the majority of the drivers here as well. But Dovzan wins this Melbourne Grand Prix and takes McLaren to a victory as well. Sendel in second place. Third place will actually be Sendel. I apologise. Sniper with the penalties will take second place. Let's wait for the penalties to just all balance out a little bit before I do the rest of this rundown, because I think there might be a surprise or two, and there has been. Necruz picking up points on lap 23 old tyres. This is really, really solid stuff for some of these drivers. But there we have it. Tamas, the championship leader, in 14th place. What have we seen here tonight? Chai picking up the driver of the day from the game. But you know what? I'd be happy to say the driver of the day should go to race winner after his incredibly different strategy. But what a race here in ORL. And I hope it will come back and give me a proper screen very, very shortly. There we go. Champion, well, not champion, the race winner here in Australia. You could call him the champion of Australia. But the race winner of Australia. And he's going to be over the moon with this one. What a race from him. Robbie Van leaving the session there. And yeah, he had a fair few things thrown at him tonight, but he's managed to hold station and do well here. That's a problem for no one other than himself. But a cracking race nonetheless. Oh, and I won't go to the podium screen just yet, actually. Because probably don't need the podium screen. But here we go. Let's go down the order here in ORL. And it is the McLaren driver taking victory in quite some style. Dovzan was did a fantastic job here in ORL tonight, the second tier race, as we're just waiting for the game to actually give us the full rundown. As Sniper, don't forget, was second place, and Christian Sendel was third place. I don't think it's going to give us frustratingly, it's not giving us the rundown. So I will head back to the screen. Very, very interesting race. Netcruise gets a couple more points. Tamas gets no points. Karma gets no points. But what a race for those guys. Sniper caught by Sendel, but these things happen, especially towards the end of the race. But a fantastic job nonetheless for those guys, and I won't go on board. I won't do that one. It's been an absolute crazy night here in ORL Tier 2. What a drive for some of these people here, and I'm really interesting to see how next week's race goes. I'm not sure if let's have a look at the calendar. Sorry, quickly. Next week's is Abu Dhabi. So a great track for some great overtaking again. And some interesting things to come. I don't think I'm going to have any drivers coming into the interview box tonight. But if you have enjoyed this race, I hope you like and subscribe. Follow ORL because it has been a great one. Also, rewatch their Tier 1 race as well, because that is going to be an absolute incredible race. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I've been Water Zero. I hope you've enjoyed nonetheless. I will be back next week. And for now, goodbye.